Hello, folks. This is Jamie Oikle from runningrestaurants.com, where we give you the tips, tools, and techniques you need to make your restaurant more profitable. I've got a great one question with episode for you today with Darren Dennington from Service with Style. Here we go. Darren, I know you do a lot of full team training sessions. And so I imagine the first 5 minutes or so are really, really key to grab their attention and get these folks engaged and focused for the training ahead. So how do you tackle a meeting like that?
So a lot of times you say the first 5 minutes, but I've actually read some studies that it says that during the first 7 seconds, people are going to decide if you have anything of value to pass on to them. And that's when they slowly start mentally checking out. Maybe they look down and they check their text messages, or they're starting to think about what time they're getting out of here, or what their friends are doing, or where they're going later today. So they mentally start to disappear already. And the message that you have, that you've taken so much time and put this great thought into preparing, gets completely lost. So you've got to grab their attention. I pass on my yellow stress balls all the time as a little tip that I'm throwing them out to the crowds. And during those first few minutes, I want to engage them. So I love when a couple people will talk or answer questions and raise their hands during that time. I don't want them sitting quietly in a corner, basically ready to go to sleep. I want them engaged. So the first few minutes, but usually what I start off with is what they're going to get out of it. Why are they here? You called your entire team in at 7 o'clock on a Saturday morning for your big staff meeting, and you haven't planned it, you haven't coordinated it. So number one, you better have a great agenda. But during your open, I want you to talk about what's in it for them. I'm a big proponent of I absolutely need you as happy working here as I am with having you here. So it's a two-way street, and they need specific things out of their job to make their life work. So I want to talk to them about some fantastic things that are coming up that are going to make personal impacts in their life.
Darren, that was awesome. I was scratching stuff down, and you do this so many times, and so you've obviously figured out the formula for it. And I wouldn't have thought about that to be that first. You're right, first 7 seconds, because that's absolutely right. We do garner those impressions very, very fast. And I'm just going to be a worker here, and I'll be like, oh, Darren's talking. Oh, this is blah, and you're right. They're going to go right to that phone, right? So you're absolutely right. People will check out. We have an attention economy where people's attention is very easy to fracture. They want to check Facebook and so forth. So I love that. So I took down that what to get out of it, have a great agenda, and really what we got to here is Darren does trainings all the time, but you also do trainings all the time in your restaurants, folks. You are talking with your people. You need to get their attention. You need to keep them interested. You need to share what's important for them, what's important for the restaurant, so that everybody wins. So if you take that tip, you're absolutely going to be in great shape. Darren, anything to add on there, my man?
So think about what they're doing during this meeting. If they start to drift away, they're not comprehending what you're saying. A lot of the staff meetings that I sit in on, whether they're trainings or just staff meetings, go through so many small pieces of information that I feel should be communicated daily. I do not want to pull in 30 or 40 employees to talk about how we're cutting the lemons or how we're cleaning the bathrooms. That should be part of your regular communication program. But when you pull all your staff in, it's got to be for a bigger reason. A really good, strong, planned out agenda like we talked about. Maybe it's time that you roll out a menu, or you bring in a wine rep to give them a little bit of extra education, or a service professional to talk to them. So the staff meetings are the bigger productions, and when you make it a big deal, you're going to hold their attention. At the end of the meeting, spend a few minutes and recap everything that you went over. If you've got those 3 or 4 points that you really wanted to drive home, now that's your message for the next 3 or 4 days. You've got to reiterate it and talk about this after, and talk to your employees about what they got out of the training, what they liked about it, what did they comprehend, what are they going to implement. So there's some good strategies to it, but it's all about passing on the information so that your staff comprehends it, not just so that you talked about it, but so your staff comprehends it.
Absolutely.
You've got to have their attention to do it.
Absolutely, sir. Very, very good stuff. And I do want to go back to the point of getting them engaged. I like that you do that, especially at the end, asking what they got out of it, making them answer questions, raise their hand, tell it from their side, because when they can tell, it means that they've learned. So awesome stuff there. That was super. Did you want to add on, Dare?
Just one last point, that at the end of the meeting, a lot of times these can turn negative if your staff has some griefs that they want to talk about. That's not the time or place. So if you get addressed with a question at the end of a meeting, a lot of times they'll just, hey, that's a dynamite point. Can you and I stay after and address that one-on-one? Because you've got to leave on a real strong, positive note.
Yeah, absolutely. The last thing you want is for a meeting with 30 people to devolve into a nip session. So good call out there. I appreciate that. Folks, that was Darren Dennington from Service with Style in a One Question With episode. You can learn more about Darren and his team at www.servicewithstyle.com. And for more great restaurant marketing, people, operations, service, and tech tips, stay tuned to us at runningrestaurants.com. We'll see you soon.